And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mission Debrief. This is episode number 16. 16. That's crazy. Season 3 of the Mission Debrief. And 2026 flight season is now beginning. My name is Alex.
And I'm Haley. And we've got a special guest who kind of runs the show. So it's kind of bad to call you a guest. But we've got Executive Director Beth Johnson.
Hello.
And this season of the Mission Debrief, we have a new sponsor. And the sponsor is...
Beth, you want to announce the sponsor?
Our sponsor is Buckeye Ready Mix.
Buckeye Ready Mix. That's awesome.
Now, something that's kind of cool is, do you want to talk a little bit about the logo on the...
Yeah, we were approached by them about a year and a half ago that said, hey, Buckeye Ready Mix is like the concrete providers for big projects. So they said, hey, we put logos on our concrete mixer trucks that are all around Central Ohio. Can we put your logo on? And I was like, sure. Yeah. What's the catch? No catch. They pay for it, and it's just free publicity to nonprofits.
That's so cool. And it's huge.
It's huge. So right now we have 2 trucks that are out there, and one truck was in the Upper Arlington July 4th parade. It was kind of cool.
Fun.
And yeah, I've passed it a couple times along the road.
That's
I'm like,
so cool.
Oh, there's us. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah, we're excited to sponsor with them. Partner with them as they sponsor us. So it's going to be a good season. And we'll talk more about them as we continue on. But first things first. So we haven't flown yet this year.
Nope.
But we've been busy.
We have been. I'm just looking up. Our website has a countdown. We are 43 days, 20 hours, and 48 minutes as of right now.
So. As of the recording.
And that will be mission number
149.
149.
We're getting close to the 150.
Yeah. So today's episode of the Mission Debrief is not necessarily a flight, but we are going to give you a bunch of updates.
Yeah, a little bit of a debrief of what's been going on and where we're at emotionally, mentally, and physically. So let's talk a little bit about maybe, Beth, we kind of talked a tiny bit about it in the last episode when we talked about mission sponsors, but we're in a new office.
We are in a new office. We moved literally days after our last flight in November. We packed up and moved headquarters from Upper Arlington to Worthington. Yep. We have a beautiful new space. So loving our new area.
Yes.
But yeah, we've officially moved. We're all ready for the flight season to start.
Yeah, we got the training room set up now.
Yep.
So it really feels like we're ready to start welcoming our volunteers. And we've had a couple of veterans pop in. Something that was really cool is when we first moved in, like we hadn't even unboxed everything yet. There were some people, because in our building, there's a bank, there's a dentist, there's other businesses. And there were some veterans that stopped in and they were like, we heard you guys were moving in here, which was so fun.
It is fun. It is fun. Our landlord, it's a father-son. Rob and his father's 94 years old, an Air Force veteran. We're trying to get him on a flight, but hopefully soon. But when Dad heard who was coming in, he was like, ooh, we've got to get these guys in here. So it is kind of cool.
Yeah, so if you go to the old location, you just happen to stop by. So I've heard the building's not there.
Correct. Okay. Our building got leveled at the end of December. National Church Residence owns that corner where we were all the way down to the Kiwanis Park.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to be all leveled, and it's going to be new senior housing and the headquarters for National Church Residence. I think it's going to be like a 3-year project.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, they'll have a beautiful view that I used to have outside my office of the creek and the animals, but that's okay. It's a good view out here, too. Nice, bright area here. Yes. We're going to have it's nice to have our own space. We don't share, even though we loved our partners.
Loved our partners. Leading age, we love them.
And they're just right down the road, too.
They are. But our conference room is, and our training area is ours. We don't have to tear down, and it's just going to be really, really nice for us.
Yeah. Got to decorate some stuff. So it actually feels like, hey, you walk in here, you know who we are.
Exactly.
So that's exciting. Speaking of more updates, we have a really big update. The fact that for how long, I don't know how long we've been flying Thursdays.
We flew Thursdays when we came back from COVID. So since the middle of 2021, which was don't know what mission number that was, but when we came back from COVID, we figured Saturdays were going to be busy, and weekdays were not as busy. So yeah, we've flown Thursdays for years, but if you knew about our flight schedule last year, we were flying into Dulles International, which was giving us at least 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yeah,
drive.
you just never know.
You never know, depending on traffic. Well, we were able to get back with Southwest Airlines and with Reagan National, but for us to do that, we had to switch days. So now we are flying on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays.
Which I think, honestly, it won't change too much for us, but I like flying weekdays. It gives us a way to kind of move into the city, and it's a little bit easier to move around. But the good thing is you still get school kids, you still get tour groups, so it's not like the veterans are missing any of their opportunities.
No. And it's typically last year, I'm probably going to jinx it for this year, but we were typically the only hub in the city. Which I think Wednesdays are a little bit more busy hub-wise, but it'll be fine.
Oh, no, it'll be good. And sometimes it's cool to even run into. It only becomes tricky if you're at Arlington and you randomly have the same gate time, which is weird. But
which they don't. So that's why in scheduling Arlington gate times, we try and get them sooner than later. Yeah, it's because only one hub gets a gate.
Well, then sometimes if you... This is crazy to me, but like if they have some kind of funeral service diplomat coming or whatever, they'll shift you. So one time I went with a different hub, and there were 3 hubs that came in for the same gate time.
Oh my goodness!
Which it seems like a mistake, because like you said, you're supposed to schedule it. But anyway, so I think it'll be great.
It'll be good.
But don't show up on a Thursday.
No, Wednesdays.
Same times,
same place. Actually, yes and no for same place.
Well, you're right.
We're moving where we had before Allegiant and Avelo, we were flying in and out of Concourse C down by the USO. We are moving back down to Concourse A, which we've had for years and years and years. So it'll be familiar territory.
We'll definitely miss the people that we got to work with in Concourse C. There was Sasha and her team.
Her team from Trago Dugan.
Jacob,
was our,
right?
Oh, yes. They were so
and
good.
then we got to know the gate agents a little bit too. So that part stinks, but we're happy to be back with our friends with Southwest for
absolutely.
sure. No people movers. Can you believe it?
I am gonna miss the Dulles ground crew.
They were
ground
so
crew.
cool.
Colleen and her team run a tight ship.
Yeah, and they even jumped on a flight with us, didn't they?
Yeah, Donna did. Yeah,
that was awesome.
So I am gonna miss them.
Yeah.
But well,
back to Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come out to the airport about the same time, 8:30, 8:45. You can check out our schedule on the website.
Yep.
Now, speaking of flights, we have talked in the past about how we do have a partnership with a hotel. You want to talk a little bit about what this looks like right now?
Yeah. So the hotel, it is the Fairfield Inn by Marriott at the airport. It's the closest hotel to the terminal. Michelle Collins is the director of sales, and she is actually a Honor Flight Columbus volunteer. She went on a flight as a guest seat, and then she's a part of the outreach team, and she leads our breakfast team, also a part of the breakfast team. But what we wanted to do was to come up with we're calling it the Hotel Initiative. We currently serve veterans in 40 of the Ohio 88 counties, and that leaves many veterans, especially in rural areas, hard to reach because of travel logistics. Many of those living way out in further areas are asked to leave home at 2 or 3 in the morning to make the 9 a.m. or the 6 a.m. check-in. But after a long emotional and physically demanding day, they return, late at night and still face a long drive home. So for elderly veterans, that's not just inconvenient. It can be very unsafe. Because of this, many veterans decline the trip, or they never really sign up because they're like, there's no way I can get to Columbus that early. They want to go and they deserve to go, but the logistics stop them. So the Hotel Initiative is what our board and operations came up with and partnered with Fairfield by Marriott. They offer a very, very great discounted rate and prioritizes the veterans for a 2-night stay. And we were able to get a grant through the Wendy's company. And That grant has paid for already 27 hotel rooms for the spring have been booked, removing a major barrier and allowing more veterans to safely say yes to an honor flight. So it is about $180 for a 2-night stay at the airport. And so our call to action is just help us expand this initiative so that no veteran has to miss their honor flight. And so if you're listening to this and saying, oh, I can totally get behind, paying for hotel rooms, just reach out to the office, reach out to me. I would love to connect. I would love to offer a hotel room to any out of town veteran.
Yeah.
Right now we're limited to the monies that we have from Wendy's and in our budget. We were limited to about 8 to 10 rooms of flight, and there's so many other veterans that need to be reached.
Well, and what's really exciting about this quote problem is that we are expanding our outreach initiative. So you have people like Bill Herzog, who we talked to a few episodes ago, and he's up in Mansfield getting these veterans, but like you said, it's not safe for them.
No.
And so now we actually are able to take them in a way that's not only safe, but it's so much more relaxing, I think.
Exactly. They're not stressed on, coming so early, and the wives are not stressed about seeing their loved one off at 3 a.m. and hoping that they get to the airport okay. You know? And when I have booked veterans for these hotel rooms, I'm like, your spouse, your significant other can come with you. Just stay in the hotel,
or your son or daughter,
or son or daughter-in-law. They can stay in Columbus, stay in the hotel room with you, be there for the welcome home, and then everybody drive home safe the next day. So.
I know I know it'll be very well utilized because I parked over near there before in the morning, and almost like just like a swarm of bees. Like you see these shirts,
Red
of honor
shirts.
flight shirts coming out of a hotel.
Yeah.
Or I'll ask, somebody, they drop off. I open their car door at drop off, and I'm like, hey, where'd you come from this morning? They're like, across the street. And I ask them, they're like, no, we stayed in a hotel. We're from, 3 hours away, 2.5 hours away in the corner of Ohio. So.
Well, and then Michelle Collins, who is the director of sales, she did say anybody that's traveling for Honor Flight can just mention the Honor Flight discount, like the Honor Flight rate, when they call into the hotel. But to get the free rooms, they have to book the free rooms through Honor Flight Columbus. So say hypothetically a veteran comes up, they get the free room, but they have grandkids and children that want to come and take advantage of that too. They can book their room at this Honor Flight discounted rate. But to get the free room, they need to book it through.
Which, as you're saying, would be kind of cool too, because let's say your family and your veteran, you guys all live in Brown County, Ohio, and so you're far away, and you want to go to the welcome home, but the welcome home is going to get you out at like 11 o'clock at night, and you don't want to drive all the way back. So you can book the hotel room, like you said, just ask for the discount, the honor flight. So you're with Honor Flight Columbus.
But always book out, as soon as you can.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because, it is
a hotel airport.
Yes.
Airport hotel.
Airport hotel. So I'm sure it does book out really fast every single day. So.
Yeah,
good point.
And if a family member comes up and they're like, oh, but we don't want to just sit in the hotel room. Oh, my goodness. Easton's right down the road.
Yep.
The National Veterans Memorial and Museum is
Cosi.
there.
The zoo is not
the
very
zoo.
far away. Yep.
Yeah. There's so much
Columbus
to
has
do.
a lot.
There's so much to do.
Yeah, go see a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true. And there's a lot of good food, like in the Short North area.
absolutely.
So definitely, if you're looking, you can call. We'll give you some recommendations too.
Absolutely.
Whatever gets your veteran here safely, and so that they can experience this trip fully, so they're not worried about driving home.
Speaking of which, in the hotel, last season, I haven't been to the airport in quite a bit now. There was a lot of construction going in.
Yeah.
Because the new terminals and whatnot. Do we know anything about that? Do you know when those are finished by any chance?
Not this year.
Yeah.
2035 or
not that far out. I was there. Well, I went down to meet Michelle at Fairfield Inn. It's amazing. I just went down like about a month ago. It's probably all crazy down there now too. But construction is a little tight, but
the road
it's not
pattern
bad.
hasn't changed since when we flew.
Yeah.
It's just what's around you looks different. So
Yeah.
it's still going to be like if you're a volunteer, we'll help you, give you recommendations about where to park. Walking lots always good. Shuttle lots are always good. But for the most part, I mean, we don't suspect we haven't heard of any new updates.
No major updates. It's just going to be congested. We just need to know that ahead of time for our volunteers, our families, our veterans. Just know it might take a little extra time to get parked and come in. But if you stay at the hotel, you can leave your car at there.
And use the shuttle.
Yes. So
if you think about it too, you can save like $20-$25 if you're parking all day at the hotel or at the airport. Yeah. So really, if you're staying just one night, you're $100 so bucks, subtract 20.
Yeah.
That's a good discount.
Yeah. And the parking cost is incorporated into the hotel cost.
Which is awesome.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm really, 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 really excited about this.
I am too. And
and talk a little bit because you got to call the vets.
Oh my gosh. I called the vets. We booked them and then I called them back. I looked at their applications to see what zone they were in. We have 5 zones. One is typically up by like Mansfield, Bucyrus. 3, 4, and 5 are kind of eastern and southern. So I was looking to see where they're coming from. And so when I called, I'm like, hey, you're booked and you live here. And, we have this wonderful grant from the Wendy's company. I always want to tell them that it's from the Wendy's company that wants to give you 2 free nights at the airport hotel. Cool. Would you be interested? And every single one was like, duh. Yes,
Crazy
I would
lady.
love that. Then there was one spouse that I talked to. And she started crying. She was like, this has been, we wanted him to go on this flight, but I will be honest, this has stressed me out completely.
Yeah, I don't blame her.
How in the world am I going to get him to Columbus? And now you've just answered that question. And I was like,
that's so cool. And then they can kind of take a little pamper day, like you said, and just enjoy Columbus and see what's out there. I think this is, you and I have talked about doing this for so long. And Bill Herzog, we can't thank him enough because he's really pushed this and showed us the need for it by getting out there in the community. So this is gonna be really good.
It is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
It's gonna allow us to serve more veterans and make sure every hero who wants to fly can do it with dignity and care. And that's,
well said. Dignity and care too. Yeah,
exactly.
And I think that the way that spouse worded it, like it's making this to where it's not a stressful event because we don't want this to be a stressful event for our vets or their families.
Not at all.
So that's really exciting. So definitely call the office if you're interested in partaking in this initiative, whether you give, $10, you want to pay for a whole night or however you want to do it. Speaking of ways to get involved, another way to get involved, Alex, would you talk a little bit about, we've done this before, but talk a little bit about your experience just real briefly, giving the flag to the eldest veteran at the World War II Memorial and why it matters and why people should donate for that.
Yeah. So the flag ceremony, probably the biggest honor I've ever had in my life. It's one of the most rewarding experiences. You always want to go up and thank a vet, thank you for your service. This time, whether or not it comes out the way you want it to, I'm sure I babbled a little bit. The last time I got, presented the flag, you get to say the words that are really, truly on your heart, not just to a complete stranger. So the donations for the flag are huge, very, very important. It's a very, very neat experience, whether you're receiving the flag, giving the flag, just watching it. The crowds that surround us at World War II, at the memorial, when they watch that, you can just tell they're in awe, taking pictures, kids, adults alike. But yeah, it was a true honor. And I think, anybody who can give, just a little bit amount of money, for that flag donation. I don't know the details on the flag donation
So
piece.
you can do it on our website. If you hit the donate, it's going to take you to a page where you can see some of these initiatives. And I think what's worth mentioning too with the flag donation is it's $150, which can be a lot if it's just for yourself. But, if you're a teacher and you want your class to do Penny Wars, or you're in a book club, or, just get a group of friends and everybody donate $25 or $50, whatever it looks like. Or just yourself, if you're like, all I have to give is $5, donate it, be a part of that initiative. I think it's a really big deal because it not only shows that eldest veteran, your service still matters, even though you're the oldest one here, but it also shows the people, the other veterans, the other community members, the volunteers, the other partners, we are always going to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That first generation that came before us. And so as that first generation changes and becomes, eventually our Vietnam veterans will be the oldest ones we're taking. it still shows something that I think our culture sometimes forgets, and that is our elders really truly matter. So it's a huge teaching moment.
Exactly.
It's about legacy, honor, share, celebrate.
Love it.
Yeah. So definitely a really, and you can check out on our website in the gallery, you can pick any mission you want and see some photos of that. We have a reel out on our Instagram also that shows some of those moments. It's really powerful. It really is powerful. Okay, so lots of updates. This is an exciting new year for us.
It is.
Did you have any statistics you wanted to share about volunteers?
Yeah. So
Because it wouldn't be possible without you.
It would not. Yeah. So as of the end of 2025, hundreds of volunteers have given more than 14,000 hours of their time, which they are the heartbeat of this organization. You know, we cannot do what we do without our volunteers, our guardians, and then that bleeds into our donors and our just the supporters of Honor Flight Columbus is huge. You know, it's this community loves loves the mission, and it's just it's awesome to see each flight, like how many people it takes to do ground crew, how many people it takes to do in-office flight prep, like name tags and shirts, and it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And
or I think of Joyce, who comes in and puts the stickers on the envelopes to mail out and let the veterans know, hey, here's your paperwork for your flight. Like every little tiny bit is a huge impact.
Yep.
Can you imagine if we had to do every sticker? Or if we had to do every flight prep, or if we had to show up at the airport and get all the wheelchairs set? I mean, we would be so dead. Yeah. It just wouldn't be the day that it is now.
No,
it wouldn't. So that's huge. 14,000
hours. So if you're interested in seeing how can I get plugged in, our website, we always steer everybody right back to our website, honorflightcmh.org. Hit the Get Involved tab, and that is where guardian information, volunteer information, that's where you go. Yep.
Your life will be changed. You'll get addicted.
Yes.
I mean, look at us. So like you got me involved and I never left. And then actually you got Alex involved too.
Yep.
And you can't get away. It's the best problem you'll ever have.
Oh yeah.
And I think too, a lot of people, you know, if you want to get involved, but you don't know how, whether, you know, you have a special talent, whether you think it's special or not, everything, you know, all the volunteers here all have unique skill sets. And some people just, you know, it's a unique skill set itself, but some people just like to go to the welcome home and push a wheelchair.
Yeah. Or some like to just stand and shake hands.
Yeah. Because that volunteer piece itself, you don't have any idea how much that does for a veteran.
You're true.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yep. So there's also this is something I'm actually really excited to talk about. There's a lot of DC updates happening in the city this year. So 2026 is the 250th celebration of the United States, which is a big deal. And we'll talk about that throughout the year. But with that being said, DC is wanting to kind of celebrate that in their own way. So we've got lots of updates. Now, the first one, I don't know if you saw this email came through. I got it on Sunday. Air Force is closed for the first mission or second mission. It's the second one. Which is okay because there's other options like we've done in the past. We've done Pentagon, we've done whatever. But they're doing a really big, they want to clean the spires. They want the lighting to be, you know, top tier. So there are some, you know, but the good thing about, I guess not the good thing about it, but I guess a positive in the negative is you can still see Air Force as we drive around it. So that's really nice.
And we had to do that last year with the government shutdown.
Yep.
We ended up going over to the Pentagon 9/11
which is
memorial,
awesome.
which was fantastic in the in the evening.
It was gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. But we could see the Air Force, but it's not the same.
No, it's not the same, but at least you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're without it completely.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And then another really big thing, we've got two big things opening. The first is Desert Shield and Desert Storm Memorial, October 24th, right? And we're heading up to it. We're going to go down over. We're going to go over to it.
Yeah, there's a group going from Honor Flight Columbus. So if if you're interested in getting that information, just shoot me an email or
Yeah.
call me. We do have, I think right now we have about 10 to 13 of
Yeah, I
us
think it's
going
going to be
over,
really cool.
just to witness the opening. It is kind of full circle moment for me. My parents and I were in the city July of 2022, and we were like, oh, this is happening today. So we were there for groundbreaking.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's,
So you're going to take your parents, right?
Yeah, they may. You never know.
Pop them up there.
I don't know.
I'm excited because something we've talked about doing for the podcast is interviewing some of the veterans while we're there, because I've done a lot of reading about the veterans who were there for the opening of Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
The Vietnam Wall, and reading their stories. And so I think it would be really cool to share those stories so you can actually hear for yourself. So stay tuned for that. I've just now committed us to doing that, but
Whoa.
I think that's going to be amazing. And then also targeted supposedly to be open, because kind of the big date for all of this celebration in the city is July 4th.
Uh-huh.
So
I got a fun fact.
Okay.
After watching the ball drop on New Year's, so
Yes.
the ball that dropped on New Year's, afterwards, lit up red, white, and blue, the flag, because it is the year of the 250th. And on July 4th, they are going to drop the ball again in Times Square.
Oh, cool.
That same
fun.
one. Yeah, they're going to have a countdown, whatever,
That's
and
cool.
drop the ball again. So
They had some really cool projections on the Washington Monument too for New Year. So check that out on YouTube.
anyway,
But
back to serious.
So the Lincoln Memorial has been under construction for a mega long time.
Forever.
Yeah. So they're opening a museum underneath, inside
The
the
Undercroft.
bottom.
Yep.
Oh, wow. The Undercroft. Did you hear that?
Love it.
So that's supposed to be open,
Yep.
targeted to open in July for the big celebration. So that's a big one too.
Super excited about bathrooms being available in that location.
And hopefully they've updated them. Hopefully we've got some World War II style bathrooms, like
I know.
at that memorial.
And then the elevator is getting redone, which praise the Lord.
Oh,
and then
literally,
we
praise the
can
Lord.
maybe get rid of the ramp.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's been accessible,
I'm
but
so glad the ramp is there. Do
but
not get me
woof.
wrong, but it is a hike and a half if you're
It
pushing
is.
a wheelchair. Plus, then it kind of gives the, it's not the
It's not
look.
pretty.
It's not the look of the historic Lincoln Memorial.
yeah, it kind of takes away from that big oomph, that
Exactly.
punch.
I think as long and as many missions that I've been on, I don't think I've seen the Lincoln Memorial without. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like before all of this, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, that's
I don't
scaffolding.
remember
It's
what it
been
looks
up
like
for
without.
a long time. And then there will also be some lighting projects taking place at the Korean War Memorial and World War II, but we should still be able to access those. So
Yeah.
we'll keep everybody updated with that. So the first mission of the year for us is
Mission 149.
date March
25th. Yes. And then that is sponsored the Worthington Moose 1427 and the golf cart raffle. So if you remembered last year, we sold golf cart raffle tickets, and we were so blessed by many sponsors.
So many
sponsors who paid for the golf cart, so that all of the monies that we raised in, I think it was $25 a ticket.
Yeah.
That just went straight into the profits. So
Yeah, that was
they
cool.
raised $52,000.
Wow.
Yeah, amazing. And then the Worthington Moose, we've got several fraternal organizations that have gaming in their facilities. So in the state of Ohio, you by law, you have to give away a certain percentage of your profits. And so the Worthington Moose, they are a partial sponsor, $50,000 they've raised in the last
cool.
18 months, which is
It's a lot of slots, Grandma.
insane.
Yep.
So the Worthington Moose and the golf cart raffle is the first one on Wednesday, March 25th, which is Mission 149.
Wow,
Which it'll
that's
be
great.
during the period of cherry blossoms.
The cherry blossoms
Yes.
peak, not just in the period. So the peak is March 20th to April 13th. So we're actually going to basically get 2
Yeah.
Compass Honor flights in the time of peak,
Yeah.
which personally, it's not that I don't think they're gorgeous, but my favorite part during this time is all the tulips that are all around
yes.
by the Netherlands Carillon. And our veterans can actually walk up and see those. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be,
It's going to be pretty.
it's going to be beautiful. And Caesar, usually our bus driver we talk about all the time, he usually leads us through so we can get a good view of some of
Yeah,
these.
he last year took us down the tidal basin road, and yeah, it was crazy. It was busy, but
Worth it.
Worth it.
Especially when we weren't the ones driving. So Caesar drove through it, which was awesome.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, lots going on in DC. There's also some just like crazy stuff going on. Like, isn't there like a WWE fight or something?
I don't
There's
know
some
which
kind of fight going on, and they're weighing in at Lincoln. And then there's something else too. I can't think of what it was. Oh, there's a race,
Oh,
car race. I thought.
I don't know.
And there is a specific website, and I forget the website. It's
Yeah, we're
erroneous,
just
but
chatting now, but
yeah, but there is a website about 2026
Oh, yeah,
and all
yeah.
of the 250th events like that
so
are
check
going
that
on
out.
throughout
Yeah,
the
because
year.
a lot of it's going to be televised.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting thing to watch. So most of those won't really impact Honor Flight Columbus states, but definitely will impact other honor flights.
Yeah.
So if you are part of another honor flight hub, keep that in mind. Still going to be a great day for the vets, no matter what. Honor flights are really good at pivoting.
And if you think about it, 250 is a long time. I mean, generations. But I don't know why. It just makes me wonder, people that are in Europe and they're thinking, oh, congrats,
BBs.
you made it to 250, we're 900 years old this year. So anyway, yeah.
Well, we wouldn't be to 250 years of this country without our veterans.
Exactly.
So I think I'm excited to talk more about that as we continue through the year. Speaking of our veterans, let's talk a little bit about who we've booked so far. So the veteran call team has been hard at work. Shout out to Bob, and Barry, and then some others who have really helped, like Judy's come in, and Celeste and Izzy and you and Megan. I mean, a lot of people are being part of.
As we speak, I went by one of the offices in the clear door and I waved forever.
Oh, Barry's
And he
hard
was-
at work.
Yeah, he was hard at work. He didn't even want to say hello. So.
Alex, listen, you can't be distracting the veteran call team.
Right.
Megan will have a fit. So far, Beth, tell us a little bit. Let's talk about branches.
Yeah.
So what branch have we booked the most so far this season?
Looking at our stats, Army has let's back up and say right now we have booked 236
Wow.
veterans for our 5 spring flights. So our goal is to get 400, anywhere from 350 to 400. So we're almost there. But right now
halfway.
we have 100 Army, 59 Navy, 27 Marine, 46 Air Force, and we have a couple
awesome.
that are
Double dippers.
Air Force, Army, and Army, Navy. So 236 is, we just started. It was like Martin Luther King week in January. So we have had a lot of phone calls. We can always use more callers.
Yeah.
If any of our volunteer areas, we can take anybody, but the kind of the prerequisite of being a veteran call team member is you have to have gone on a flight either as a veteran or a guardian or a support staff, just because a lot of times our veterans, when we call them, they ask specific questions about the flight. And if you've gone on a flight, you'll know that answer. So
Absolutely.
we are always looking for more. So if you're, we typically call in the mornings, but we've had volunteers come in the afternoons. So anytime between 9
Monday
and 4,
and Thursday.
Monday through Thursday. We don't call on Fridays because if we leave a message on Friday, then somebody calls on Saturday and then they call on Sunday and then they get very frustrated that we haven't called them back. So we call Monday through Thursday, all times during the day. So if you're interested.
Yeah, it's one of the best volunteer areas, I think. I mean, instant gratification to get to break the news like, hey.
Yeah.
it's your
So
turn.
the process is somebody applies, they send in their application. Right now, when we started calling veterans who had their applications in since May of 2025. So somebody submits an application and then they're just kind of like waiting for that phone call. And the veteran call team phone call is that vet call that they've been waiting for. And so it's, hey, your name's come up. Let's get you booked. And most of the time they're on speakerphone and their spouse or their kids or, it is just it's the greatest.
It's fun.
It is so much fun.
So we still have kept up with the wait list to where if you apply right now, you are going to fly likely in the fall.
Yep.
So less than a year. So you apply one season, fly the next season. So definitely it's not one of those things that you're going to get lost in our waitlist system. We've worked really hard, and thanks to our partners, have been able to accomplish that.
If you're interested, if you've already applied and you're just interested where you are on the wait list, you can always give us a call here. We can look and see what your veteran application received date is, and we can always base on where we are in the
Yeah, that's a good
calling.
point.
But yeah, always call the office if you have any information, any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, what is the most booked short service?
Right now, I believe it is Vietnam.
So how many applicants do we have?
154 for Vietnam. And, I was kind of looking through this. I had marked a couple things down. Just, if people thinking about donating their time, donating money and resources. And some of these veterans, like I was just looking at numbers. Some of them, they have under their belt in their service, they have Vietnam, Global War on Terror, and Gulf War. I mean, if one wasn't enough, these guys put in time. There's some that are Korea, Vietnam, and Gulf War. GWOT, Gulf War, and cold times. It's pretty amazing. Some of these guys that were when they went in the service, and that's what their life path was. Right in the middle of three different conflicts
and/or
is
peacetime.
Yeah, and they stuck with it through it. That's the kind of people that we're honoring. So
and not just guys, ladies too.
Ladies as well.
Yes.
Talk to us about this. Is really exciting.
Gosh,
Tell
I'm
us about
so
Marie.
Excited. So we have a female veteran who is going on our first flight who will turn 100 years old on February 20th. And
Oh my gosh.
she is so excited. Megan booked her last week. And so once Megan hung up, she was like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. So
This is going to be fun.
Marie is coming from the Bristol Senior Living Center over in Worthington. She's going with two other residents there. So they were the Bristol was the facility that the group from Mission 145 went on.
That's
So,
right. And we
yeah.
had some news coverage. I believe Stacia
Yep.
kind of facilitated that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really cool. They've got quite a few veterans there, and exciting that they are kind of partnering with us to help them get signed up and transport and all of that. Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun.
It is.
So looking into this season, let's take a moment and kind of reflect, hear a little bit from the executive director. Tell us a little bit about 2025. What was an accomplishment, greatest lesson?
We kind of went over it already, but I'll just reiterate. The question of what did I learn in 2025? What I learned, again and in more deeply, is that this organization is powered by extraordinary people. Our volunteers, donors, and supporters are truly, truly the best. The 14,000 hours of their time, it's just amazing that their generosity of spirit, time, and commitment is truly the heartbeat of this mission. And so what I learned is, we have a huge team that comes right alongside operations, comes right alongside our board members that just love the mission of honor, sharing, and celebrating our senior veterans.
And I think too, looking at 2025, I mean, we had to pivot a lot.
Oh my gosh.
There was a time when we were like, well, crap, we got to find flights. And just like you said, the partners that came alongside us to make it possible, whether it be you had to call up a donor and say, all right, well, we've had to change and flights are more expensive, or changing the day or changing the time, whatever it was, people were just like, okay, sure.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
That's amazing. To be able to pivot such a logistically challenging concept and have people just say, okay, I'm there. I mean, our airport people were there earlier and getting it done. And I think that's huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It is huge.
Anything you feel like, wow, I accomplished that, or we accomplished that in 2025?
10 flights.
Yeah. Every year it's going to be 10 flights.
10 flights,
that's a lot of veterans.
Coming into 2026, our first flight, we will have served over 11,000 senior veterans,
amazing.
Which, it is truly amazing. And that is, the goal for 26. We've flown 11,000 veterans. We fly between 750 and 800 veterans each year. To keep the mission moving forward, we have to keep finding the next veterans to serve. So our goal is to recruit, locate, and fly senior veterans across our 40 county territory. So we serve 40 of the 88 counties. And like we talked about in the hotel initiative part, there are some veterans in rural areas of Ohio that never even dreamt about going to the big city, to go to even a bigger city to get recognized. There's so many veterans out there that need to take this flight.
Yep.
And we need the community members to help locate our veterans.
Yes.
The perfect example is, okay, you're at Kroger and you are walking down the bread aisle and you see an older gentleman with a veteran hat on. Stop, say hello, say thank you for your service, and then say, have you taken your honor flight?
Yeah.
It's that simple interactions that show that you care, and that you show that the mission of Honor Flight Columbus is huge. The mission of Honor Flight in general is huge.
Right.
So no matter if it's at Kroger or if it's at church or if it's at the gas station, you see a veteran, you stop and say hello, thank you for your service. Have you taken your honor flight?
Yep. And to that point, the best advertisement for this experience are veterans who have flown. And, I had a conversation last week with a gentleman. He wasn't a veteran. He worked at FedEx, and he, I guess, comes across a lot of veterans that work there and or patron there, like are associated. And he was calling because he had a veteran who was eligible and just needed some help applying. And he's like, yeah, I tell everybody. I'm like, that's his job. Literally. He's doing our mission in his job for FedEx. And I think that just goes to show, like you said, you can do this anywhere, anytime. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be particularly smart or articulate. You just have to have a heart for serving others and finding that serving others. I mean, yes, we target serving our veterans, but we all end up served at the end of the day. I think we can all three attest to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's an amazing goal. And the more we focus too on these rural areas, because it's not that we're running out of veterans. It's just that we know there are so many veterans who don't know about us, or like you said, don't think it's possible, or think somebody else should go first. Well, guess what? They already went. So now it's your turn.
Yes, exactly.
So in reflecting in the past and kind of this perspective of the future, is there something memorable for you that stands out from 2025? Like anything in particular, or is it just like the general feelings of?
It's the general feelings, and it's hard to really pinpoint a single story out of so many stories, because our mission is to honor, share, and celebrate. We hear so many stories every flight. But what's really stand out to me is, again, we've covered this already, but Mission 145 and Channel 10's coverage with Stacia was so powerful, especially the 4 veterans from the Bristol Senior Living. That really stood out to me is they're a group of friends who shared the trip together. It reminded me that there are so many veterans in nursing homes across our community who are eligible to fly. So if you work at a nursing home, if you're a program director, or if you are a nurse there, or if you have a loved one in a nursing home, reach out to us, because these veterans don't always ask about flights because they maybe think they can't go, but they absolutely deserve to be honored. So, yes, we serve the medically fragile. Many, many times, families are like, oh, my grandpa can't take that flight. There's no way he can go. Well, I'll guarantee you we can possibly make that happen. I think
he can take an honor flight one way or another.
And I think like my many years here, probably on one hand, I can count how many times we've had to say no to a vet because of a medical situation. But we have taken the healthiest to the sickest of sick.
Right.
And we can make it work. We just need to, have
and if not,
veterans.
there are resources that can. So I think, like you said, it's just a matter of contact.
Don't just assume that your loved one's Alzheimer's, or your loved one's Parkinson's, or your loved one's mobility is deterring them from taking a flight, because I can guarantee you we can make this work.
And if not, there are other options. There are honor flight at home. There's so many different things we can do So if you're listening to this and you want to apply or you want to volunteer or donate, Beth mentioned our website, honorflightcmh.org. I'm sure she would love to hear an email directly from you. What's your email address?
My email address is beth@honorflightcmh.org.
And give us a call at 614-284-4987. And then whatever option best fits your inquiry on our menu, hit that and talk to one of our staff members. Other than that, I mean, it's coming up. Flight season's coming up. As Beth said in the beginning, we are, 43
days. Not that we're counting.
20 hours and 5 minutes, in case you're wondering.
Not that we're counting, but it's coming up.
It's coming up. Well, thank you guys so much for listening.
Oh, thank you. We appreciate everything that you guys do. The operations team, all the volunteers here. Like I said, Barry's in there right now, calling away, ignoring me. I'll get his attention. All right. This has been another episode of Mission Debrief. We'll see you guys after the first flight.